Lego.
Hey, good people.
Lego.
And we're back.
Yes, indeed. Back in action, as they say. Hey, everybody.
What's going on, everybody in TV
Okay.
land?
Yes, indeed.
So, really hope everybody was able to watch Ready to Love, at least the episode. I'm sorry. Hold on. California is
Episode
full of
8.
airplanes. I'm right by the airport. I'm sorry.
All good.
No, I really liked the
That was
episode, to be honest.
that was loud as shit. But yes, I actually like the episode too. And I feel that, like I was saying, we was talking, backstage. Meeting the friends is, I feel like, a lot better. Like how he did it with the exes, that was great. And the friends is absolutely great because your friends do know you sometimes more than
You
anybody
know
else.
yourself. Yep.
Right. And a lot of times your friends can see things that you don't want to either see or accept about yourself. So they're going to come with some honesty when it comes to,
hmm
like if they're your real friend. But some of them friends, honey, I question the friendship. I have some
Man,
questions,
listen.
but we will get into all of that. But what was
Mm.
everybody's view on it personally? Like,
Personally, I thought that this was one of the strongest episodes yet. I really did because here's the thing on this show, friends and family usually don't get involved toward the end of this process, but I don't think I've ever seen friends and family be this real because it seemed like they were like, okay, I'm here for you. Screw these cameras. I'm here for you. And I felt like those conversations were real conversations that they would have if the cameras weren't on. Some
mhm.
people showed up. Some people stepped out mentally, and the women laid it down. Exactly. And by the way, shout out to some of the dudes that showed up. So it goes to show that there are black men who protect black women and care about black women, want black women to be well. So I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like one thing.
So, what did you guys think about the bottom two guys? Before we go into the episode, what did you guys think about Herbert and Chris being the bottom two?
Oh man, Q, did you want to? I thought Q might want to say something about the episode overall.
Oh, I was just saying the only thing to me, the episode confirmed a lot of stuff. That was confirmation right there. Most of the women confirmed how the relationship are between the two. It was only one of them that really didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And they really looked into the man and the relationship and really gave a thorough
hmm
outcome. You know what I'm saying? I was very, very, very impressed with this episode. They did a really good job on this one, and they really got it right this episode.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, with the bottom two, um, I wasn't surprised about one, but I was surprised about the other. And I'm just gonna say this right now, and we will get into this a little bit later. I felt like Chris was the scapegoat. There, I said it. Damn it, I said it, and I got my reasons why. And we're gonna talk about that ish. We will.
Yes, we're definitely going to get into all that. Like, the episode overall was definitely great. And I do like the aspects of going to the friends and having the friends actually, ask questions because, like I said, your friends kind of know you more. So being able to ask those questions, they know what you attract, what you like. They, can actually kind of direct you in the way of possible, good
hmm
outcome. You know what I'm saying? Because not all advice is good advice, but most of the time when you have a friend that's down for you like that, they're definitely going to steer you in the right way. And they know if you have a pattern with, bad relationships, what kind of guy, whatever the case is. So I absolutely loved it. But
Yeah.
like we said, there was one that absolutely, in my opinion, dropped the ball. And when it
hmm
comes to Chris, I feel that Chris, you see where Chris was. You see where Chris's mind is, and you see who he really
We're
is
going to jump
interested
into
in.
it, Gigi.
But okay, so
And
yeah. So we're starting with what Herbert, what was it? Herbert Phil
let's start
and
off with
Alley Cat.
Lord help.
yes, please, God. I really want us to talk about this. God, I've been complimenting these women. At least they're trying with their passion, but her friend. I know you guys see it, so I'm not going to say it. But let's go out. Well,
Listen,
I
okay.
felt like the friend was she was just there for herself. As much as she asked the right questions, but she was just doing too much. I don't understand, but she was way too much. But then Harvard, like, I didn't just understand what he was doing. Maybe he really wanted her to turn up or something, but that scene was just weird to me. Like, I was confused.
Yeah.
When it comes to Herbert, and like I said, a lot with Katarina, like I feel like they look at her appearance. It's more so a physical thing. The friend was asking some good questions, but then
Hmm.
again, it was like, are these really the questions that need to be asked? Like, they're not really getting you anywhere. And Herbert's not giving you the information or even really like, honestly, he was given the information without actually giving it because his stance on things and just kind of how you could see there was no attraction past the physical. There was no mental stimulation. Like there was no
Hmm.
conversations. Like how the friend threw up the receipts. Like, no, you didn't respond to her message or what? Or no, that was with Phil. But with Herbert, like Herbert just like his attraction still isn't past physical. Like there's really no mental stimulation when it comes to him with on anyone. I don't even see that with Janelle. Like Herbert just was not. I don't feel like he was
Hmm.
really there for Kat like that. Like that's not what he was
Yeah.
trying to be.
Yeah. And, in terms of Alley Cat, Tom from Tom and Jerry sung a song called Is You Is or Is You Ain't My Baby. You know how long that cartoon's been out? That is more memorable than Alley Cat, okay? Listen, so just stop. Just stop with that. Number
I felt
two.
like that was cute.
Okay, let me ask you this. Would you do that with your friend? With a dude
Hell
that you
no.
get okay, then my point made. Exactly. The hell. I love you though. I still love you, but like come on. But no, I will say this, right? So she did ask questions, but I felt like that was kind of a wasted space and time for all that. Like, I will say this. I think Phil did give more in-depth answers. And, shout out to the receipts of that he was not responding, but at least he was able to say something concrete about something happening with their connection. When Allie said, what's the difference with you dating her? And Herbert said, it's me. I'm just like, Lord Jesus, okay, that's like me going to Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A teams up with Braylon Lee, make the Braylon Lee meal. And Robin Roberts said, this meal is going well, Braylon, and what makes it special? It's me. And I would expect Robin to humble me and say, Braylon, now I love you. I'm proud of you. And congratulations. But how many people have ate Chick-fil-A, Braylon? Really? You got a meal named after you. You are not Chick-fil-A. You ain't that special. That's the same
Right.
way I felt about Herbert. Dude, like really? Nothing concrete. And then you ask questions to the best friend about her when you're on the show to get to know her. Like, I can't keep making y'all moves for y'all. I'm doing better than y'all. I'm not on the show. What? Q, take it. Q,
See,
take it.
first
I
off,
can't, bro. I can't.
that whole date was a waste of time. First off, Kat was not Herbert number one, and Kat was not what's the other guy Phil number one.
Yeah.
So Kat is
I was
really
so
everybody's second
surprised.
option. You know what I'm saying? So the whole date really just didn't make sense at all because none of them really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be with her.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Herbert enjoyed that interaction with her best friend. He really did. I feel like he enjoyed that interaction more than he talked to Kat. I mean, the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
conversation was very fluent. You know what I'm saying? I feel like both of them were just trying to fight for space. You know what I mean? Somebody trying to feel somebody. And Herbert was just really there. He said at the end of the show, he just enjoyed conversation. He enjoyed people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's
Herbert,
all it
Mm-hmm.
was.
you
Like
know,
that's all his connection was. There was nothing past the physical. And I actually agree with Unprovoked Auntie. Like Katarina's coasting too. She
oh
really
yeah,
doesn't have any connections. I don't see anyone she's connected with, anyone that's actually he's she's not anyone's number one. No
Mm-hmm.
one has her as their like when it came to the physical or what they liked when it came to the
She's number
appearance. Oh
one.
yeah. But anything else mentally, spiritually, as far as like what really would draw you if she lost her looks today or if you were blind, what else could
Mm-hmm.
hold you there with her? There's
Exactly.
nothing else there. It's all
Sometimes that's
just,
all you got.
yes, that's all
Sometimes
it is. There's
that's all you
no,
Mm-hmm.
got. Sometimes.
there's nothing else. And it's just like, at what point do you say, okay, well, I need more? And I feel like she doesn't have like that. She doesn't have that. There's not someone she's connected to. Herbert has no connections. That's why he is where he is. Will be there as well. Like
So,
you and Alley Cat might as well just
Yeah, Alley
go
Cat,
on to
she
the
like,
back alley or something. Like that's where it's at. Like it's to that point to where like that's what you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know. That's one thing I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she actually has strong masculine features, and to be honest, the best kind of hairstyles to do is wavy hair. So I was very confused when she came on with straight hair, packed. I'm like, God damn! Like at first coming in, I was like, why is a dude coming in? Like that was my first impression, obviously. Before
Right.
I realized that, oh, it was actually a woman. I think people need to start understanding that what they wear, like their outfits, sometimes it makes people understand. If I'm going out, I won't be on my natural hair. I almost like to like dress up. It's when I'm at home, I just like I don't need to
Right.
do anything. And except if I'm probably going out before I would change my outlook, you won't even recognize me. That's
Mm-hmm.
just it. So I understand why you go on national TV and then make yourself look like you transitioned
Mm-hmm.
and poorly.
Sure.
So it was just like really, really bad. And the fact that she's what was that? You say I think it's a beauty something. So I was like, damn. So you looked yourself in the mirror, stood up, and then made your way to studio. Wow, I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
disappointed. Yeah, stay tuned. Like doesn't offer much. Her and Sierra, they offer nothing except being pretty and having some sort of attitude. Like it's just like dead. Hi, Danita. Hi,
how we
feeling.
doing? How we doing?
Hey, hey, everybody, welcome in. Yeah, I just at at that point, if I'm a producer on
Hey,
Ready to Love,
Katarina.
say that again.
Oh, I was just saying hey to everybody. I'm sorry. I was late.
No, all good. No, I was just gonna say if I'm a producer on Ready to Love, I'm just going to tell the executive producer. So basically, what this is a filler segment. No, Brian, they really okay. You know what? Quit playing with me. Play with them. Play with them because they need a shot. I'm here producing the shot. This is filler, right? Braylon, shut your damn mouth. It is filler. Go do your job. Exactly. Good Lord Jesus.
And the fact that it was the first thing we watched, it just like it actually put me off watching the episode because I was like, is this what we're going to see? I didn't really get any substance from the conversation because for the first time I heard that Phil was one of our connections. I was that shocked to even see Phil there. So it was it should have been probably at the middle, the same place they
I didn't
put
know she
Sarah
had any connections.
conversation. It was nothing.
Like I was
So
shocked that
now
any of them was her connection. Honestly, like when it came to Katarina, I was like, wait, who? I think she kind of just like chose two people that she possibly could,
Mm-hmm.
have a connection. Because if anything, honestly, I thought she would have threw Chris in there. But yeah,
Yeah,
we can go ahead and move on.
do something because they've been ranting on social media, sorry, about how much they had some sort of connection, but from their mouth, they claimed that the productions prevented them from shooting any scenes together. So
yeah.
it's
Mm.
Production.
also something like that.
Well, if that's the case, then it makes me question the whole entire show. What's the point in having connections? Because we've been talking about how you have to make the connections outside of just filming. You
Right.
need those connections outside because you're all not living in a house together. This isn't one of those kind of shows where everyone's together all the time. You guys go to your respective homes. You leave afterwards. You go and actually have your real life outside of filming. So there
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a lot more connections outside of that. And then to find out that You're not allowed to have dates outside of filming. You're not allowed to really talk, have certain conversations when it comes to it, like talking and texting on the phone. It makes me wonder, like, what really is the point of it then?
Exactly. Yeah,
Like,
I
how are
I
agree.
you?
think they're
You can't.
actually
This isn't
allowed.
90 Day Fiance or Married at First Sight.
They're actually allowed because I joined Lee's live yesterday. They are allowed to have like extra shooting relationships. But the problem is that the productions choose and pick who they feel are very interesting, and so they only film those set of people. So if you unfortunately were interested in one person initially, and then you moved up that person, and they found out that, oh, that storyline you had with this person was interesting, they will keep showing that storyline regardless. They don't just care. That's just
Well, I mean, hell, if production doesn't want to shoot the boring stuff, just shoot this boring stuff and put it on Discovery Plus as Ready to Love Extra, like just a clip show of
See,
all the other dates that you can't put on the show because they're not interested. What are we doing here?
it's the
Like,
narrative.
honest.
Everybody wants the narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus,
At the end of the show, you got a group of people that's gonna be together. You know what I'm saying? And you really
right?
want to highlight, what I'm saying, why certain people are getting kicked off the journey. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So a lot of times people might have like Red, I ain't gonna just say Red, but I'm pretty sure other people who got kicked off the show had good connections with other people. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to show why they're getting kicked off the show.
Hmm.
And then to me, I feel like they about to villainize Janelle. You know what I'm saying? And some will make her a villain. You know what I mean?
Nah, they're actually showing the storyline of why Janelle and Katarina hate each other.
Yo, you right.
Because
You're right.
that's what I really
Right.
want to know.
That's
And
why I
it's
was
actually
saying that makes
unfolding.
sense now. After seeing what happened, like, or the previews for
Next
next week.
episode.
Yeah, next episode, it absolutely kind of gives a little bit more context to what the beef is really about and how it started and how it kind of got to where it is. Like,
Yeah.
how did it get legs like this? Like,
Because Katrina did not have any connection, and it was so obvious this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So after her friend told her to fish for other connections, she decided to go to Quinton. And Janelle is desperate to have a man or get married, so she's like holding on to the only one to her, and that's Quinton. So it's
And
just like
Quentin not
a
gonna
bunch
marry
of
her.
desperate women
Yeah.
who are fighting over one man. So it's like it's sad.
Quentin said on live TV what he want to do with that woman. Quentin said we gonna have sex. I said, oh, he ain't even there for love. Quentin trying to get his rocks off. Quentin ain't for that.
Listen,
That's what I'm trying to do.
and that was in the first couple
Telling you.
episodes.
Mm-hmm.
look, Quentin wants to do hashtag good love and hashtag knocking some boots.
That's all he want to do. And he see what's the other girl name he was talking to. She seemed more of a challenge for him, and I don't think he want that. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to find. The funny thing about it is he's trying to find a way to leave this girl alone. What's the girl name?
Mm.
Lee. And Lee solid.
Hmm.
He's trying to find a way to leave Lee alone because he know what
He's
Lee's gonna.
not.
Lee's gonna
I
come
don't
with
agree.
accountability. He don't want nobody who's gonna hold him accountable. Lee gonna hold him accountable. The other girl, Janelle just wants somebody.
Mm.
And
I'm
it's
not even gonna get
like
on
it
to Lee because that whole
shows.
connection with the friend and that his whole interaction with Lee compared to how he was with Janelle,
Mm-hmm.
total night and day. But
Yeah.
also
Mm.
the friends, you
It was
gotta you
not
gotta
total
see the
night and
connection with the
day.
friends.
Yep.
I feel like it was the same. I'm sorry. I read the same vibes from the boat. And did anybody notice that Herbert had 3 dates? This was the second date.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wow, you are hot in the market.
Somebody
Ooh.
3 days last week, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else had 3 days last week, remember? Brother, they
Hmm.
passing your girl around, Bubba.
Listen, man. Oh Lord
Listen, right.
Jesus,
But you sure you
man.
still want to be there, babe? 'Cause, yeah, she definitely
Listen,
listen.
she's definitely evolving for sure. Okay, let's get into this one, y'all, because this had a
Let's
lot in
dive.
it.
But we do
No, let
remember
us
that she said that
discuss.
she had a connection with everybody and everybody was calling and texting her. So
Mm-hmm.
I told you guys that it was never going to end well. Like it was too obvious. And before we get into this scene, let me just reiterate why I thought like Janelle kept or keeps claiming that people were sending our DMs. One, this is no offense. The same way I judged Aries from what I was seeing on my screen. Janelle is a beautiful woman, very gorgeous for like you would never believe her age. But she stinks of desperation. She wants to get married, and I totally understand. I feel if you want to get married, want to have kids, you can adopt, you can do something as a single woman, but she really wants to get married. My point is she's going about it the wrong way. You're making these men know that you are desperate.
Mhm.
There's a difference between this man you have been dating for a long time, and then you guys have been planning your wedding for years, and then he's then stalling because of whatsoever reason, especially if it's monetary. So I would totally understand if that was the reason. But you guys have barely known each other for 1 month,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody is hitting your DMs. Fine, great. I mean, it's a great feeling when you are hot in demand. I cannot lie. You will legit feel on top of the world.
Right.
But have you noticed that as much as she felt on top of the world, every single person who made her feel on top of the world do not necessarily want to be with her.
Well, let me
Men of
say.
low
Mm-hmm.
value will make you feel on top of the world. They will be the one hitting you up morning, afternoon, night, sending you roses, sending you messages. Like they know how to put in the work that sometimes you will feel like, damn, this man really likes me. And
Right.
that's exactly what Herbert and Quinton and Red did to her. That's why she is, I mean, she's not lying anyway. She was actually hot in demand. But as I've said it from initial, like from the first episode, I already told you guys that looking at the connections with Janelle, they were all superficial. It was too obvious to me seeing it. And because I've dealt with so many shitty men in my life, so I'm just like, too obvious. The signs were there. She was just too desperate to notice it, unfortunately. Because I feel like she would have had a better connection with somebody else, had in like she would have invested her time with somebody else if she was not so desperate to marry. But
I
now
think
let's
it.
get into the
I,
scene.
I think everything you said is very well articulated. I want to bring this point up because Joy and Quinton, who is on Love and Marriage DC, Joy said something that I thought could was very important, but also I think this could relate to Janelle. How we met was public. How our relationship is out here on a reality show is public. What can be private of ours, right? And so and like I said, and the cast do watch our reviews, so I'm just gonna say this right now. At the end of the day, with Janelle, I've been on your side for a very long time, but I do think that at the end of the day, it is okay to get to know somebody outside of the show, because from what it's seeming like, and there's a quote that says, don't be so prepared for a wedding that you're not prepared for a marriage, right? Because that day is supposed to be nice. If you're so concerned about one perfect day that you don't have the capacity, capability, and or comprehension for all the days to come, you might as well just stay single. And I'm saying that all with love, and they will tell you I've been on your side the whole time, so I'm not coming at you, I'm just being real with you. So we can get to this one.
Now the thing
Well,
about this right
let's
here,
get to the truth though. Let's just go ahead and speak on it. Because at what point is she really going to sit back and take a look at herself? Because you are in your 40s, you don't have any children, you haven't been married. So what is it, and at what point are you going to take the look at yourself and say, okay, what is it about me that is attracting people who's not ready for marriage, or who's not ready for, you know, the wedding life? And honestly, you got to ask, are you truly ready to be married and be in a marriage? Just like you said, Braylon, that is so true. Because the marriage, the wedding, that's just a little party. The marriage is what you are in for life. Are you ready for that commitment?
Hmm.
You can jump
Absolutely.
so quickly. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't take long for a person to know if they want to spend the rest of their life with you. It doesn't. because not all love is the same. Sometimes it might take, years. Sometimes it might take just a couple months. There's people who can meet today and say, I love you enough to know that I want to marry you tomorrow, or I want to do this life thing with you. It is so possible, but you have to be ready for it yourself. Because if you're not, I'm going to tell you, it's going to show. And it's going to show with the men that you have. It's going to show with your relationship status. It's going to show with how you conduct yourself on a daily. And it's starting to come out when it comes to Janelle. Like, are you truly ready for it? You might have these connections, but the connections you have are with people who honestly might not really be on your level. Herbert definitely is not.
No,
But
absolutely. Q,
but
you wanted to say something?
Janelle is 41 years old, pretty as all outdoors. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And
A to the man.
the thing about it is, when you have a woman like that, okay, her not her, her homegirl been married 13 years.
Yes.
I know good and well Janelle want that for herself. You know what I'm
Yes, she
saying?
does.
I know good and well she want that. Now, how does she go about achieving that? Is one.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I can tell her homegirl is more settled in her ways. Her homegirl thinks a little more straighter, and Janelle is very much so a wild card. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I feel like emotionally, she's all over the place. You know what I mean? Like Una was saying, she desperate. You know what I'm saying? And Quentin know that he can run game on desperation. He can't do that with Lee because Lee's solid. You know what I'm saying? Lee knows what she wants. She knows exactly what she's looking for. She's connected with Quentin because they have a lot of things in common.
Right.
Quentin, for the last two episodes, have kind of been talking down about Lee, but he know good and well he can conquer Janelle. You know what I'm saying? Just because of
Mm.
the communication and just because she know he feeling her. You know, he know without a shadow of a doubt that Janelle wants him. She want him. You know, I've never heard her and Quentin was smooth talk. He smooth talk the homegirl. He was saying all the right thing. I was like, dang, bro, you saying all the right things, but your actions ain't lining up to none of that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, bro?
No, I
Like,
think I think that's a very good point. Is this Sierra from Ready to Love in the chat? Because I'm just asking. But no, Q. I think what you said is very true. It's one thing to conquer an obstacle course. It's another thing to finish the marathon.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that one more time. It's one thing to. Oh, it is Sierra. Okay, all right then.
Hi.
Welcome. It's one thing to conquer an obstacle course. It's another thing to conquer a marathon, right? Because a marathon sometimes it is a 5K or it has multiple parts. So like you said, the conquest is fun, but the work of the marathon you don't want to do. I do wonder if Janelle's friend husband was along, would that have made a difference? Because, like you said, Q, they've been married for 13 years, so it would have been good to have her best friend and him there to
Yeah.
do that. But then again, maybe he didn't want to be on. So,
But did you see the like as much as you guys know that Janelle is my girl and not my girl at the same time. So my problem is that Herbert, Herbert and Quinton, you guys know I do not like these dudes. But Herbert, this episode was really repulsive. Because why would you tell her to her face when they asked you, oh, what was the question again now? What thing about her do you not like? I said, oh, what thing about a woman don't you like? I said lack of patience. I was like, damn, that was quite ruthless. It's almost like you know that she wants to get married, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, I don't like a woman that's not patient. Dude, you're 37. I had to check his age last episode because I really wanted to know how old he was to be giving such, oh, I'm not ready, timeline, blah, blah, blah kind of speech. You are 37. For someone who wants to have kids, wants to settle down, you're 37 or you're scared of commitment or you want to have kids. So you want to have kids in your 40s so that by that time you'll be 60 while your child is 20 years old. You will practically not be able to enjoy the teenage years of your child. So what exactly do you want? At this point, I'm trying to understand what he wants. A man of 37 years old that is scared of commitment is the worst kind of thing ever. Is like it's actually good he went home, because why on earth are you here for love on your 37, and you're scared of commitment, and you have the audacity to shame somebody? As much as I feel like Janelle is too hungry to get married and she's making it way too obvious, the fact that you are then shaming her by saying, "Oh, I do not like women that are not patient." No, 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 that's like a big red flag. If I was the one, I would have the ick, and that was the end for me, because that was very, very rude.
To me, when it comes to Herbert, it's the same thing. Like I said with Janelle, he's not ready for that. I feel like honestly, he might actually know himself that he is not ready for any kind of committed relationship. He doesn't trust
Mm-hmm.
himself enough to actually feel like he could be with one woman. I feel like if it takes you 7 years to be engaged, or matter of fact, not even be engaged, but 7 years to date, then you want to get engaged and then be engaged for another 5 years. Now, but in the midst of
Dude,
that, you're expecting for our finances to combine. You're expecting for a baby to be produced. You're wanting all the wifely, and committed things, but you're not willing to commit. And that's where Herbert is. Like he's not ready to commit, but I feel like he wants commitment reward.
I mean, you do
Yeah.
got some guys. You
exactly.
got some guys that move slower. You got some guys that move quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about it is, you know when you got the right one, and you know when you got the wrong one. When you got the wrong one, you trying to, drag it out to make sure can it work. It's a possibility of it working. You know what I'm saying? But Herbert, on the other hand, I really feel like he's ready to love in his own way. He's ready to love in his own way. You know what I'm saying? He ready to love.
Yeah.
What way? I'm
Hmm?
sorry. If my boyfriend tells me something, or let's say that, oh, I was dating somebody, let me put myself in the guy's shoes, and I'm 26 and I'm dating someone that's like 32, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to get married." I'm going to still address, there's a comment of the Stacy's comment, but she tells me, "Oh, I want to get married, be engaged by the end of the year." Realistic, non realistic timelines, it doesn't mean. I would not go out of my way to shade that timeline in public, because that was what he did. Do you know how self conscious she felt? There's a difference between you wanting something, you saying something. Do you know the
Mm-hmm.
societal pressure that women feel to get married? Even though women keep saying, "Oh, some women do not want to get married," but then when you say it out, it's the same women that would judge you and be like, "Oh, the reason why you do not want to get married is because nobody finds you attractive." There's a lot of societal pressure
Mm-hmm.
to get married. And now she's 40, she's 41. Although at that age, menopause is knocking at the door,
Sure.
at that point, it's a very risky age to be pregnant.
Mhm.
And then you are claiming that, "Oh, I want to get married by next year and everything." Although it may not be realistic, but that's a plan. For you to then come out and be like, "I do not like women who are not patient."
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah, I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take that on because I did take my notes here that when Janelle's friend asked, about the qualities of who Janelle is, rather, Herbert said thug, sweet, but she flips. And Quinton said caring, driven, grounded, sweet, is a lot for a lot of people, but it's not enough for me. And I noticed that even though Quentin can run game, you don't say anything unless you care about it. And so when Herbert says said rather that, I look for patience. Well, even though people can say Janelle is desperate, how patient has she been, bruh? Like, really? I mean, at the end of the day,
Hey, big
just
dog.
being, at the end of the day, just being honest, like,
Hey, break.
she, hmm,
Hey, break. Not to cut you off. Quick question, right? Let's
sure.
put let's put the shoe on the other foot, right?
Okay.
What if Janelle came out and said, "You know what? I want a guy that's patient."
I think that, and very good question, Q. I think that would depend on the guy and how patient or impatient he has been, right? Because at the end of the day, with Janelle, she has been very consistent on the fact that she wants to be married after a year, right? So the fact that she has been patient to get to know her better and to be gracious and stuff, for you to say, I look for one with patience, and she's been doing that. Not to mention, she said, your normal is not working. So at that point, it is an insult. You know what I mean? So,
But it's very not isolated though. If it's just me and Janelle talking, you know what I'm saying, and that's it.
sure.
That's one thing. But they busy talking to this person, Janelle talking to that person. So it's nearly no isolation of patience. I feel like the
Hmm.
patience we're talking about is we're not going to get married tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be here, but we're not getting married tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Janelle, just like
Okay.
let's be real. You know what I'm saying? If I meet a woman today, I would like to say, dang, I would I would like to be married in 4 5 months myself. You know what I'm saying? If I meet the right woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not gonna waste your time. This is where we going, this is where I see it. But if it's not the right woman, we gotta sit here and figure this thing on out. And I feel like Janelle, she had the I feel like she can be patient with Herbert. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she'll 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 play that waiting game with him, but with
Hmm.
Quentin, she's not even looking to date Quentin. She's not even really looking to be with Quentin. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can Let me say this. I definitely can see your point, Q, and I appreciate the distinction with a difference there, because you are right when it comes to being patient about marriage. That's a different type of patience. But in this situation, though, because she has been so vulnerable and open about that, it's still an insult either way, right? So from your point of view, I do get that in that compartmentalized circumstance, that you're right. Patience is needed, because at the end of the day, you don't want two timelines not to connect. However, if I've been giving you this energy and you're not matching anything, to say that in front of me and my homegirl, but I do agree with your point, Q. I do see it for
But
sure.
patience doesn't mean stagnant. Patience doesn't mean
True.
that we're supposed to stay in the same place. Patience doesn't mean that I'm going to be sitting here,
That's
like I
true.
said, giving you the rewards and the benefits of a couple, or of, you know, a wife, or whatever whatever that is. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be patiently waiting and giving you all that while you're steady patiently waiting and just taking my time and my patience for
Gigi,
granted.
that was a bar, Gigi. That was a bar. Patience is not
That
stagnant. That
Yep.
ooh, that was
Very,
hey,
very, very well said,
hey.
and I agree with that. So if I may, Gigi, so what you're saying is there's nothing wrong with being patient, but within that patience, have some progression. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I can receive that.
Absolutely.
I can definitely receive that.
The crazy thing about that is, you know what I'm saying? I wish men, a lot of men, some men understand that. But if men could understand that right there, that I just want to see some progression. I just don't want to be, you know what I mean, the blind. I just don't want to be led blindly. You know what I'm saying? I want
Hmm.
Mhm.
to stay together. You know what I mean? We can move, but I need to see some kind of progression.
Right.
That,
Exactly.
that was deep, Gigi. That was deep.
And you know what? To be real with you, with Q, myself, and Gigi, it goes to show the spectrum of patience, right?
Hmm.
That circumstances or requirements, they have a different level of patience
Yes.
than
Mhm.
having patience for a particular experience like Ready to Love. And then there's a different type of patience when it comes to progression. So it goes to
Right.
show it's the circle of life. You know what I mean?
But then, like I also said, don't take my patience for granted, because a lot of times that's what'll happen. You want someone who's patient, kind, caring, and all those things, but yet you're taking that for granted because
Common.
you're not trying to progress. So while this
Mm-hmm.
person is staying patient and waiting for you to become your best self or to become ready to be what they need, you're taking that time for granted, and now they're losing out.
Yeah.
And I like, and when it comes to that with Herbert, I feel like that is in any relationship. I'm not even just gonna say Herbert, but that shows disrespect and discord with the relationship. Period.
No,
Like there's,
absolutely.
I don't feel like you respect the relationship enough to be like, hey, I'm not going to waste your time.
No,
Like
for sure.
I'm not going to have you sitting over here waiting for something that possibly is not going to happen because I myself am not ready for it. You know,
No, absolutely. No,
you
I
can
was
miss your
laughing at Stay
blessings
Tuned
patiently
reviews.
waiting for somebody else to be ready for theirs.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, at the end of the day, um, and I talked to my dad about this because I said to him, like, Dad, at some point in time when things are happening for you, sometimes you just want to turn off your mental switch to wanting to have good finances or a relationship or anything else. And, turn off the electricity saves the bill. And my dad was like, well, that's true. But if you have the switch off, that doesn't mean nothing can be seen. I'm like, wouldn't that be a high electricity bill though? He's like, well, yeah, but you'll be able to see, right? And so it's what you said about sometimes we turn off things because we don't know if we have the patience, but we also cannot ask for something to be seen if we don't turn on the light to see it. You know what I mean? I was laughing at Stay Tuned reviews with his comment. Janelle should spoon feed Herbert the yams. She wants him to lower his guard. One taste of that. Wow,
Now
he may take
that would
Herbert
be
to
the
red.
worst mistake ever.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
See, one thing about
He's
patience, it was as far as Janelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Janelle's timeline. A lot of times, certain women have timelines they want things to be done by. You know what I'm saying? And she already know how her body's set up. She don't have time
Mm-hmm.
to be patient because she has an end goal. She's trying to
Right.
get more a little quicker than somebody who's in their 20s who got time. You know what I'm saying? And if Herbert can't allot her, if Herbert can't move how she want him to because of her timeline, of her body and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? He gotta hit the flow, man.
But yeah, before we go, this is a comment that I want to respond to.
Mm.
The friend made a comment or asked a question about realistic timeline. And to be honest, I didn't hear any of them giving any. But she was just like, oh, yes to Quinton's answer and no to Herbert. And I'm like, maybe because I'm quite nitpicky, but I really did not hear anything that Herbert said that was like, or did I say Herbert? Quinton said that made sense. He was just like, oh, I want to get married, have kids, and that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not what a realistic timeline means. Janelle wants to get married the next year. When do you plan on getting married? I
Right.
just think the friend was being so hard on Herbert and giving Quinton way too much of the pass. Because to me, he was not really giving me like anything that I'll be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he really likes my girl. Maybe. To be honest, if my friends want to meet their man, they always call me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm too.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
how to
I don't
read
know.
people
For
so
some reason, it
much.
just seemed like when it came to Quentin and the friends, like they just kind of got sidetracked when it came to like asking Quentin certain questions or kind of like really holding them both to the flame. But when it came to the date with Herbert and Quentin, I feel like Herbert's answers were so vague and just like
Mm-hmm.
just really not even like a a real true thought or really genuine, that it made
Sure.
Quentin's answer seem just
Better.
exquisite. It just made it seem like Quentin was so interested. And actually, I think matter of fact, Stay Tuned even actually said it too. Like, yes, that made Quentin seem like he was just so in love
Jesus.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Janelle.
He
And that is
was.
just
What?
because like
Hmm.
Like Herbert was not giving nothing. Herbert was.
They re- they
Mm.
did they
Herbert
did a
is
really good
tired.
job of editing. They did a good job of editing because we really don't know if Herbert had a genuine connection with these people or during these dates because they edited so well to make him look a certain way. We
It
don't know.
Hmm.
sound it sounds like what happened is something that Dr. Phil said, which is outrageous overshadowing. Basically, because Herbert didn't do this, it just seems like
Yeah,
Quentin actually did better.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly
let's
what it
move
seems.
on. We spent 45 minutes on Herbert. Let's move on to Chris. No, oh, sorry. Leslie had one more date. Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting. So let's talk about his last date, then we'll move on to Chris. So he had one more date with Sierra and Moire.
Listen,
See,
Sierra, baby,
I'm
if
going
you're
to give
still
my
in the
thoughts
chat,
on Moire later
Sierra,
Listen,
because
Sierra pump
we
faking
have
too.
beef.
listen, Sierra, if you're still in the chat, baby, let me tell you.
Sierra pump faking too.
Listen, she's ready. Okay, listen, it's
Ready?
been a minute. I don't know if she's got any extra outside, but Sierra, baby, I see you. You ready? You ready? You trying to climb up her, but I know what you trying to do, girl. You
But
with
they
the
were
shits,
looking
okay?
at her like she was their friend.
Yeah,
That
Sierra
was the
pump
vibe I
faking.
got.
yeah. I don't.
Like
I'm
every
sorry.
single
I don't see a connection with her
conversation
with anybody.
I don't see one with
at
her
all.
anybody.
She's also coasting.
She coasting. She pump faking.
well, here,
Absolutely. Yeah.
here's the thing. I mean, I can definitely see that, but I will say this date that happened with the group, it did seem that those friends really did ask those real questions, right? Because if you notice on every date that Herbert been on, it's been consistent with him not giving anything, right?
Hmm.
So when it came to this, how Marier talked about, wanting to be a husband and all that type of stuff, it it seemed to me that on that date, Sierra's friends were really for Sierra and were asking the questions
Yes.
that maybe Sierra hasn't gotten the chance to get to those questions because she does seem like a friend girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to Sierra in the chat, I'm like, that hug was a whole vibe. She was like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, Lord,
Right, honey.
but but but
They
but
That's
were
then
what
but
they
the,
she
making
ready.
so much sexual talks. I'm sorry.
She's
but
I'm
but
getting
ready.
all up
When I say
high.
she's ready, she's ready. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but listen, Sierra, baby, honey, listen. I, I smell the horniness from over here. I smelt it,
Listen,
girl. Listen,
and listen, Sierra, I can't be mad at you because when you said that, I'm like, well, I would have said the same thing that I'm Janelle's baby dad when I hugged her. So I can't blame you too bad. I can't. I can't
Sie-
do it.
But
Sierra,
what do they see on Herbert and Moray? Maybe because I'm sorry.
Sierra still want to smoke hookah and go to brunch. Man. That's all Sierra want. Sierra still
God
want to
damn,
smoke hookah.
bro.
She still want
Lord
to get
help.
flued out. That's all Sierra want to do. She a
Lord
homie.
Jesus
Sierra is a
help.
homie. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel
One of the prettiest girls on the show, but I feel like if it was the right person for her to settle down, but these guys just not for her. You know what I'm saying? She get off a
At
whole nother vibe.
all.
These guys ain't for
They
her.
yeah, no.
sexualized her in that conversation.
Hang on, wait,
Because
y'all.
if I was to
Mhm.
meet my guys like friends, like for the first time, I would be, yes, it would be fun. It was funny and it gave like friendship vibes, but both of them just looked like they had no substance towards her. It was almost like we're
Mm,
trying to
Mhm.
create an approachable, how would I put it? Like they were
So,
giving a font as if they were
mhm.
approachable. Like that's just how the vibes I got.
Right.
It
So I
didn't
see
give
that
like they
she's
were
in
ready
the
to say,
chat.
I really like
Yeah.
this dude.
Yeah. Sierra
Listen,
is
so
So
she's
still.
I
in
was
the
like,
chat, but she said that her and Herbert had 2 dates that were never shown, but he was her main connection. See, and we didn't see that because it seemed
Mhm.
like Herbert was more so, with Janelle. He was more focused on
Mhm.
Janelle. And even when he said like where his connections were, I don't remember him saying Sierra.
I mean, I
awesome.
mean, I mean, at this point, since we are talking about her, I mean,
But
I
she's
feel
beautiful,
like she.
baby. Listen, let me
I,
tell
I,
you.
I, I feel like she should be able to come on up. I mean, since she is in the chat,
And she definitely would love to.
Mm.
Let me drop the link.
Yeah, the link
That
is
makes
right
you want
there.
to
Cause
spam her.
absolutely. Because there's a lot of things that we, didn't see, but it didn't seem like there was. I mean, from what we have seen, I haven't seen a connection with her and Herbert, and Herbert never. I don't. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but when Herbert mentioned his connections, did you say Sierra?
Never.
If Sierra get on this show, me and her about to have a connection.
Sierra, I think we've
Come
been
on,
pretty
Sierra.
fair so far. If you come on up, I
Sierra,
think
why
we've
are
been
you
pretty
talking
fair.
to?
Man,
Who is saying do not laugh? Oh, unprovoked. Unprovoked says the weirdest things on my life.
We see each other, Sierra. We see each other. Listen.
Oh, Lord, listen here, Sierra. You might get pregnant through this chat fucking messing with these two. Look, listen, listen.
Shoot,
But am
I
I
ain't
the only one that got the vibe from Moire that he was like, I don't know, the previous episode, he
Mhm.
came off terrible. So this episode, he was just trying to repair his image. All through the dates, I'm going to wait to the Jessica's date to speak my mind because God, I was pissed. I
Yeah, that's another thing.
I
Listen,
don't
because
want to talk about that Jessica's date yet. I'm
hold
trying
on.
to make it so that I don't talk
Okay,
about
when
that
it does
yet.
come to a connection,
I was
I honestly did think
irritated.
that Moye and Sierra had more of a connection than her and Herbert. If we're looking at connections or possibilities, I really did feel like Moye, Sierra, more, because there was
What?
like more of the mental stimulation. There was more of a, conversation like that could actually transpire and pick up into something else. Although they both do give like the homie vibes. But shit, I want to be best friends and homies with my man.
No,
Like,
absolutely,
so
and even her best friend said that Marie is husband material. So, I
I'm not seeing it. He was putting on his best acting feat.
right, like
it
I
was
just
crazy. It makes sense now about that deep hug that Sierra and Herbert had at the end of that date. Them other two dates we didn't see, that's what that right there was all about. That
you
it
know
makes
what,
sense now,
Q,
don't it? It
ladies
makes
and
sense now.
gentlemen,
It
wait
there
a
you
second. What
go.
happened
it
on them
makes
other
sense.
2 dates here?
You
What
know,
did
them
we
other two
see?
dates. You know, they need to be shown because that was a,
I mean,
you kind of gave.
at this point, Sierra, you might as well come on up, Queen. At this point, like we need context. We need context, Queen.
Because I'm like very confused. Because if the beg had to stay, it's quite obvious that the men are not of substance this year. So I do not blame her anyways. I do
Like I
not blame
still,
her.
like I said, I mean, she said that there was 2 dates we didn't see. Evidently, them dates was deep. Okay, honey.
Hey,
And
hey,
I'm
And
what
saying it,
what
people have
Maury
been
say? How much fun y'all had?
complaining.
What
right,
Maury say?
right, right. How
Maury
much fun
say
y'all had?
how
What was
much
y'all doing?
Oh, that joke! Oh my God, that was fun. And Sierra spit out her cup. Oh my
Maury
God,
say how much fun y'all
that was
had.
hilarious. Oh my Lord Jesus.
Mario said, "How much fun y'all had?"
How
Hey,
much fun y'all had? Because
we
honey,
didn't
we
ask you,
want
boo
to
boo.
know.
Sierra, we didn't
Inquiring
even ask
minds
you,
would
boo
like to know.
Listen.
Because there was a.
I even forgot
The,
who Leanne was.
hold on, wait a second. Did y'all see? I don't, as a woman, I don't know if y'all seen it, man. But honey, when they gave that hug, she was rubbing them shoulders, honey. It's something
Yeah,
about them shoulders, the shoulders, baby. It's
she was
them
on
them shoulders, honey. And she just that's when she got pregnant. She felt them shoulders, and then he had it wrapped up. I know when it was. Uh huh.
exactly what he was doing. He kind of hovered over. That was she
Wait a
got.
minute.
She got
Y'all.
kind of hovered over.
Sierra says I was friend zoned, or was I making them my friend?
What?
Honey, I don't feel
Wait,
like there
who
was
is
a
this
full
Dre
connection.
monster?
Okay, so I feel like there was no connection for either to even be put
Hey,
anywhere. I just feel
she
like it was
right.
already set.
She
Like
right.
that's how the connection developed. I feel like it was just developed more so into that because like you said, sexual tension with you and Herbert. Like Herbert, we seen that, honey. We seen that through the phone or through the TV screen. I
Someone
mean,
has sexual tension with everybody.
he's
But at the same,
definite,
but at the same time,
absolutely
my fault not to cut you off. At the same time,
good.
when she went on that date with Maury, right? And she asked
Mm-hmm.
Maury,
Mhm.
like, do you find me attractive or something like that? And Maury's like, yeah, we can leave here right now. So,
Right.
yeah, are you gonna ask all your friends that question?
So basically, the energy was 999828212. Kiss me through the phone. I'll see you later on. Type of energy. That's basically what was going down. I'm sorry, I had to use the reference. Look, you used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. Hashtag hotline bling.
Call
It
me
can
every
only mean one
time.
thing.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, Pierre. You did say that you was gonna have to pack a whole bag. So what
Listen,
are your plans? Like what? We know we see where your mind is at. Like I said, maybe it's just that you trying to be good with the whole show and filming, and you ain't got none yet, so you kind of backed up, honey. The sexual tension and the chemistry is coming. Okay, we know that there's sexual tension, but after sex, what is there? What connection do y'all have after the sex? Now, hold on. Sometimes the sex is all you need. Listen, don't even say nothing. Just close your eyes and your
I,
mouth,
I think in the
except for
words
when it's necessary.
I think in the words of Teddy Pendergrass, she is looking for a love TKO.
I
That's
ain't
what she's looking for.
lying.
Mm,
But you're right about
listen,
that. Like after sex, after that act has happened, can you really build off of that? And for the most part, you can't.
Stay tuned. Really? Look.
You can't.
because I'm gonna tell you, there's
It's gonna be
nothing to me. An intelligent conversation or actually being able to have a conversation, that is some sexy shit to me. Listen, that will make me want to give it to you even more just because I know that you can intellectually
yeah.
stimulate me.
Sapiosexual. Yep. Yep.
Listen, there's just the way that you touched my body with them words and how you said it when you looked at me and said it. You know what? I ain't wearing no panties today.
Listen, listen, you can have multiple sessions of conversation sex, okay?
Yeah.
Ask about me, okay? Listen.
Y'all should be ready for sex. I ain't lying.
I'm just saying,
Last ready for
but
love.
there's got to be more besides the sexual tension, honey. Because listen, okay, you get pregnant by Herbert, are y'all really gonna be a family and raise this child? Like this is
Albert is
questions you
not
gotta
ready to
ask.
get married.
Herbert's not ready to get nothing but besides a nut. He's not ready for nothing.
Sierra trying to
Yeah,
get
and I
full
agree
without.
with Aubrey. This season is just about alliances because, to be honest, I don't know what this dude is actually there for. He
So
hasn't
so
got me.
so listen, this is what I'm recognizing, right? So we got a Ready to Love BDSM edition coming up. We got a Ready to Love Family Affair edition coming up. We got a Ready to Love FWB edition coming up, and we have a Ready to Love Sapiosexual edition coming up. That's 4 different editions
Ready for
of
sex.
Ready to Love coming to soon on.
Ready,
That's a lot of
Right.
content coming. That's a
ready,
lot.
ready for
That's a
sex.
lot.
Ready,
My man,
ready,
So,
my man.
ready,
Listen,
ready for
and
sex.
it's brought to you by
Mm.
the Queen's panel. Listen here, Queen and King's panel. It's brought to you by us
Queen
because
and
Listen,
Queen's time.
that's the
I
only
love it.
way y'all
I
are
love
gonna
it.
get
I
this.
love it.
That's the only way you're gonna get it
I love
because
it.
y'all are not giving me like what is going on. Please, somebody tell me what is.
We gotta hurry and get to Chris because we could stay on Sierra all day. Sierra. Hey, if you hear me,
Listen,
hey, I'm gonna tell me. Hey, Sierra, stay right there, girl. After the show, we gotta talk. Stay right,
man,
listen.
we
listen.
yeah,
spent
stay right there.
almost an hour on Harvard and his issues.
Herbert and his issues, and then Marie and his suck ups because he definitely was trying to suck. Matter of fact, yeah. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris had 2 dates.
Stay
That
tuned.
alone showed
Really,
me that
Lord
he was
help.
not living. Chris met Jessica's friends and also
Naked.
Aries.
We would just call that Ray to Love Hedonism edition, okay? So that's 5 different editions
Naked.
coming soon. Too on.
Somebody said they're ready to
What do you
love.
That's
guys
that's
think
ready.
about
That's
this?
ready to love, naked and unafraid.
Hello.
Naked
And
resort.
and both of them on Discovery. Lord help. Okay, let's move on, child. I cannot. I cannot today. Cannot.
What did you guys think about
Hmm.
Chris and Phil meeting Aries friends?
Sure. I will say this. I think that how y'all were saying before that Chris kind of seemed like a son to Aries. I feel like this is where he maybe evolved to a man with Aries, because he was very definite and concrete. And with Phil, he still gave that comic relief, and he still remembered that connection. But I think he might have forgot that he needed to elevate his connection with her friends. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So that's my take on it.
Hi, reviews.
I really like.
Hi, na na na. Phil made himself look like a bomb.
I can't. I feel like Phil, like Braylon was saying, Phil is very comfortable in his connection with Aries because they've been spending so much time together. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I like you. And one thing I like about Aries is I feel like Aries is ready to love. I've always felt that way.
Absolutely.
I've always felt that she's ready to
Mm-hmm.
love. Now between Chris and Herbert, I mean between Chris and Phil, I feel like Phil will be the better fit, you know what I'm saying? Because she come with two kids, you know what I'm saying? She coming to
Hmm.
ready to love
Nah.
family. And Chris wants somebody
Phil
that's gonna
is.
pretty much be in servitude towards him. You know what I'm saying? She like already got kids.
I
Feel
don't
like,
think he wants someone inserted.
you don't think so?
See, I don't see this episode. I guess we're just going to talk about the stereotype comments again. This episode sort of made me understand Chris better.
Okay.
Phil is not financially stable for a woman of Aries like person, basically. Because when he was explaining his financial issues, I was like,
Hmm.
I was this, I was this, I was this, I was this, I was this. It was just
Hmm.
giving, I'm throwing things at the wall and seeing what will stick.
Sure.
And that's very scary, especially in this economic situation that we are. I want to come back home and my man is not telling me, oh, we need to pay this, we need to pay this, we need to pay this. I wanted that we come at the end of the month, everything is set.
Right.
Because having to have all this emergency, like, it's crazy. If she ends up with Phil, which I know she did end up with,
Hmm.
it's going to be very unstable for them. And then the way he comes off, very, very manly. I mean, it was very, both of them are very, very passionate about Aries because they know where she stands with them.
Hmm.
One thing I got from their conversation was that Aries is very comfortable laughing at or laughing with Chris.
Mm.
She's serious with Phil, even though he like makes jokes. Because
Hmm.
when Chris was speaking, that was the time she was actually able to like laugh, and she always blushes towards Chris. Even I just found out that currently they are still like very, very close friends. I think she ended up with Phil, but I do not know if it worked out whatever. We'll find out at the ending anyways.
Sure.
But they are very, very close. I personally would not go for Phil because I do not like being in situations where all the money for the house is coming from my pocket. I will feel very financially
Hmm.
insecure, and I do not like that. In this economy, I do not pray for anybody to feel financially insecure. It's the worst kind of feeling ever. And if
Hmm.
someone has a feel, that's what she would feel. Because when he was speaking, I was like, damn, I was really like selling my stocks from Phil.
Sure.
And I bought into Chris because Chris is richer. He has a solid job. Come on, he's the only one that they've shown where he works at.
And you know what, to your point, even Aries had to reassess after her friend said Chris, right? And I was just going to bring up this comment here. I don't think Chris wants someone in servitude either. I think he wants a woman who is softer in her approach from review and recaps. And you know what? I agree with that because in the episode with the ex, right? Chris did admit to the ex that he was wrong in the ways that he went about it. And sometimes, and this is why I personally think, I don't think Chris wanted to do that. I think it was circumstances of how he has lived his life and how he hustles and how he moves that felt like servitude. But I don't think at the core of him that he is that selfish. I could be completely wrong. Because think about it, we all are in different circumstances where we feel something that may not be that actual feeling, right? It may be a feeling because of the experience, but not because of who that person or what you're actually going through. But I could be wrong.
You know what? It's so crazy because my brother actually said something earlier and it stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. But a person who doesn't know how to conversate will accuse you of arguing. And that's the
Mm,
same as a person who, if you don't really know how to be um, harmonious in a way, you're
mm,
going to take that as you're being, a servant. Or honestly, if it's somebody that you really don't mix with, instead of it looking like teamwork or feeling like it's something that you guys are doing as a partnership, it's going to feel like
sure,
work. It's going to
sure.
feel like you're being a servant. It's going to make you feel like you're not equal, and the
Hmm.
compatibility is not going to be there. You're going to have problems and issues. But that's because, one, that's either not your person who you're supposed to be with, so you're going to keep clashing. But until you're able to actually look at things in a way of not for the worse but for the better, you'll start seeing things differently. Don't always jump
Absolutely.
to a person is trying to make an argument, or a person is trying to make you be, take it as, oh, because he said he wants a softer woman, that means he wants a servant. No, that means he wants a woman. That just
Hmm.
means he wants him, instead of having a cactus, he wants a flower.
I don't
Hmm.
know. I feel
It's
like
okay.
Chris. I really feel like Chris, just from every date that he had that date with Aries, where Aries came to his house and he was in control of the situation. As fact of, um, he had somebody come over and cook. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Then the date where when old girl came to his job. You know what I'm saying? And they sat down and ate. Everything is on Chris's time. Even when Chris left, um, to go to the event at the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, to get the
Everything
award.
had to be
Absolutely.
on Chris's time. Everything got to be on Chris's time. You know what I'm saying? So is Chris selfish? Yes. Is is Chris in from what the show shows? Chris does seem successful at what he does. You know what I'm saying? But to be successful, you have to be somewhat selfish. And I really feel like he's still in a place of a woman will come second in his life instead of working with him. That's what I feel. I don't feel like he wants
Mm.
somebody, you know.
Mm.
That's like
I can
my
receive that.
understanding. Chris is an African man, bred in an African way, that chose specific parts of the culture that fits him. Let's just say
Right.
everybody is selfish, to be honest. I've
Yeah.
used my culture
That's
to
true.
defend my selfishness several times. So over, I'm just being honest, over here, the men take care of everything. The bills, the food in the house, the housing, the everything. There is nothing like 50-50 over here.
Hmm.
So whenever I hear this 50, whenever I leave and then people start telling me 50-50, I'm like, ah. When I go to bed, the celebrant is meant to cover everything. So it's like he was bred into a whole different culture. And I think Aries is like the only woman that sort of understands him because she's cultured and it's quite understandable. That's why when we get to Jessica, I will explain why I'm
Oh
annoyed with
Lord.
Jessica's friends. So in this situation, as you said, for him to be this successful, he needed to be selfish.
Mhm.
So what they just need to do is converse. And that's why
That's
he
it.
and Aries they have like an understanding. whenever he speaks, like when he spoke, was like, I will take care of all the bills, go do what you want. Like
Mm-hmm.
that just
Mhm.
you could have just see the way Aries' face changed, where her the way her friends' faces changed, because that's what they want for her friend. She must have
Mhm.
she's a strong woman. She has to have a strong front. She said she has a good cooperating with her ex, but she still
Mm-hmm.
has to create a strong front for those kids. So imagine then
Mhm.
having a second bonus father that is willing to take care of all the bills while she can go out there, work at her convenience, and do whatever she wants. He had to be
Mm-hmm.
selfish to become a successful man. So
Yes.
all the women just need to do is have a conversation and say, "Oh, this is what I can do. This is what I cannot do." Relationship is not, "Oh, I'm coming this way. I'm going to enter a relationship this way. If you don't want to take me, then you can go." Relationship
Mm-hmm.
is a dialogue. We have to choose and pick where we are going to. It's just like people just don't have these conversations again these days.
And
Mm-hmm.
another thing is,
Exactly. That's the thing is the conversations need to be had and the real conversations. Stop being stuck on the superficial or, just the right now and actually think about what's going to be best for you and your future.
Yep.
Think of
Yeah.
like honestly, a lot of people they're like, leave your past in the past, let it go, which to an extent you should. But sometimes you need to remember your past to let you know that you don't want to go back there.
That part. That
now,
part.
now one thing
There
about
is a rear view mirror for a reason. And sometimes you have to glance in that rear view mirror just to make sure that what's behind you and what you left behind you stays behind you.
Mm-hmm.
right,
So I feel like when it comes with Aries and Chris, like I understand the whole culture thing and I understand Chris to an extent, especially when it does come to culture. But it's right what you said. We're all selfish. You are not. It doesn't matter. You can be a humanitarian. You could be the best person in the world, a saint. Even saints are selfish sometimes because sometimes you have to be. In order for you to give so much, you have to hold back something.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So I think like when it comes to Chris, I don't feel like he's too much selfish as in the aspect as far as like in a relationship. I feel like he is the type where he like he said, I'll work, I'll take care of everything. You do what you want to do. But he is probably the type that expects for his woman to possibly have dinner ready, possibly get up and cooking breakfast, or you know, do what a wife and a woman, would do
Right.
if
But
that is the type of person you are, and that's what. But that conversation needs to be
Yeah.
had.
I doubt
right.
that. I mean, if Chris is an Igbo man, in our culture, we're used to having maids. I don't know how you guys do that, but I didn't know that when I went out there, people did not have like maids. I was like, I felt helpless. So we have like maids, helps, people who like do stuff. Average
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
families have maids and helps. You don't need to be a rich person to have like maids and helps. So, and it looks like someone that can actually afford having a private like chef,
Mm-hmm.
like from
Yeah.
home every time. So it doesn't look like the woman will have to cook every time. The problem is women go in there cooking the first moment they meet the man and then telling him, "Oh, I cook a lot, oh I do this, oh I did that." And then when you guys enter the relationship, they expect you to do those kind of things. So
Mm-hmm.
right.
And I'll say this, and then I'm gonna throw it to Q because I think Q been wanting to say something on
Yeah.
this. I will say this: I think Chris has the mentality that people ask for in business and in life, but yet when they get, they don't know how to receive it. Because one of my friends on Clubhouse said, a lot of times we ask God for blessings, but are we ready for the responsibilities of what that blessing contains?
mm,
And so I feel
Mhm.
that with Chris, and to your point, you are right. From the outside, it does look like he's selfish because everything is on his timeline. However, it's his timeline, so he has to be responsible for that. But I do think that Chris, even though that is his timeline, he would it's not like he want to add resources to make the timeline accessible. Key, I'm gonna throw it over to you because I think you've been wanting to say something.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting the world to revolve around you. Everybody wants that, But one thing about it, when it comes to Chris and Jessica, out of Barack Obama and Michelle, which one has the stronger personality? Michelle. Michelle got a way
Mhm.
stronger personality than Barack Obama. And Barack Obama and them, they move so well together because he
Mhm.
understands who she is and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, first off, Chris got to. One thing I liked about Marie when he was talking about Jessica was he like, I know this is who she is, and that's what I like about her. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I like that she's a
Mm,
strong. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need. That's gonna push me forward.
Not the eye roll. Not the eye roll, though.
please.
That's what he was.
I'll
Ooh,
allow you to finish your
actually
point.
agree with you, Usha, too. And actually, since you pointed that out, like I agree with it because Chris did have that, the chef and stuff, and with him owning his own business, he could definitely afford a cleaner to come in
Yes,
and to cook and do all those things like that.
Nigerians, we are
So
actually lazy inherently. Like, we like people doing things for us. So I do know that he would hire someone else to do it.
Right.
Yes.
And I, and
well,
I and I will say this: when it came to this day, I will agree with you to a degree, Q, that yes, she's a strong woman, but also too, after that strength, what else is there to you? And when he said that, I was thinking like, man, Chris, you're about to get on this point again. But then I'm like, okay, well, if you know if you saw it and your friend saw it and her friends know that she's strong, then maybe it might be something there. By the way, I do want to bring up a MVP point that Marie did. He brought a gift. I almost forgot that Herbert brought a gift, but I love what Marie did because a lot of times when it comes to us brothers, sometimes we will do anything just to receive something but not understand what we did to move toward to a resolution. So when he gave the gift, it's like, listen, I'm not apologizing for who I am or what I do, but I am sorry for not being transparent with you. And that took some real
mhm.
stuff. That
Agreed.
was beyond the friends, that was beyond Chris, that was just taking responsibility. So for that, I thought that was a good moment that should have been pointed out.
But another thing
Now
about
can I
Chris,
speak? Okay, speak. Q, continue.
I said
I'm
another
going
thing
to speak
about Chris
after
is,
you.
I mean, is it something wrong with, wanting that, or providing that right there? You know what I'm saying? I feel like he viewed Aries as to the fact of I can provide you this kind of life. You know what I'm saying? This is what I can do for you. You can be comfortable. You know what I mean? If you decide to work, that's pretty much on you. But this is what I'm providing. You know what I mean? And I prefer that you hop on my train.
I, 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 I can see that through the culture point of view, but I think also too, and
Hmm.
I said this to Sierra in the chat that no one can prepare you for something like this, where only you have a month to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a moment in time, and I feel that if Chris really got with Aries or with Jessica. And honestly, too, like when Jessica said that they need to amicably split, I'm like, you're amicably splitting because
To
at the
become
end
a
of
second option.
to now become the second option, but because also too, you're not seeing the fact that he is even sticking around. Because let me tell you something. Like women always say, I don't have to be here. Men don't have to be here either. Breaking news to y'all. Seriously. Like, so at the end of the day, like he's giving a effort. And sometimes the reason why men and women feel pushed away is not because of the quantity of things that someone does, but it's the quality of what you're not acknowledging. Because he didn't have to come to the damn date with your friends. He
he
didn't have
really,
to do that.
he really didn't want to
He-
be there. Cause you remember at the last
I
lounge,
don't.
at the last lounge, he was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty much stopped talking to Justin."
You know
Yeah,
what? I
like
just need to speak. Let me speak. Like, I can't believe you guys are making me defend the men this episode. So, Jessica and Chris.
Now we getting
listen,
somewhere. Now we getting somewhere.
listen, let's
So,
go.
he okay, hold on. No, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me
Yeah.
see. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say. Let me take a
Quinton
drink
made
first. Let
two
me take.
statements, or one important statement,
Mm-hmm.
and he made one mistake too, which I'm willing to talk about. So let's start from the mistake. It was asked, what do you see in Jessica that is a wife material, basically? And it was like, I'm sexually attracted to her. Blah. What do you see in her? Why I felt that question was weird was that once you notice that he was stammering, asking him to answer was not going to do any good.
Mm-mm.
You could have jumped to the next question because you're making everybody feel awkward. Now, he asked a
Mm-hmm.
question, or he made a statement basically. I want to see the vulnerable and the calm. Is it calm side of how he said? I can't remember. I think it's calm side of how he said. And
The
immediately he made
softer
that
side in so many
comment.
words, yeah.
Softer, yes, softer, yes,
Right,
softer.
basically, yeah.
Immediately he made that comment. Oh my God. It felt like the heavens just opened up and rain started falling. Like everybody's mood changed. And I was looking for the reason why. It seemed to me that Jessica is surrounded by yes men, and that was too
Mm-hmm.
obvious. She's surrounded by people who have the same mentality as her, people who have never questioned her
Oh.
character, and people who only tell her that, yes, being so assertive every single time works. No, there are certain times when you're speaking to your partner, you have to be assertive. But when we're
Mm-hmm.
not fighting, when we're not doing anything, why do we need to just use so much energy when we can be
Yeah,
just soft, vulnerable with each other, and have a good time? That was all what he was saying, for crying out loud.
yeah, yeah. And
So
it was so crazy because he
why
was
did they
like,
find an offense with that?
and her friends like made sure to bring that up like immediately, and he was like, "Oh, I see that y'all be talking." Like, yeah, they're friends, they're gonna talk, but you are absolutely right, Ucha. Like him express honestly, that was him being vulnerable. He
Mm-hmm.
was being vulnerable by saying, "Listen, I would like a woman who can express herself fully and with the softness to her tone." He's not saying that he wants you to be docile or wants you to, you know, be his yes woman, but he's just saying that he would like for you to be vulnerable with him so that he can see
Mm-hmm.
your feminine side, so he can see your softness. He would like
Exactly.
to embrace that instead of having to fight or feel like he's in a, in combat all the time. Who wants to deal with that in a relationship? Like,
Exactly. And not to mention too, I think that this is important because I saw what Marie did by coming in for the 3 pointer of,
Oh,
well, that's why I like about her.
thank you. Like,
That's
I
what I
was
like about her. I'm
irritated.
like, bruh,
I
stop.
would have
Stop for a
stood
minute.
up and walked away.
Like seriously,
Now,
because see, here's the thing, right? And I get it. It was a good 3 pointer. It was a shady 3 pointer, but I saw how you moved on the court. But it's important to recognize this. Most of communication is what we don't say. Just because he didn't say that he didn't like her strength doesn't mean that he doesn't like her strength. He just knows what he
right.
needs, which is what women ask for. Damn.
But see, one good thing about the show is it's crazy how they really push the narrative early of Chris and Jessica early, that early connection. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what they're going through to where they're at now, and that's just really the basics of dating. You know what I'm saying? You date
Mm-hmm.
somebody for a little bit to see if they can fit in their life. You know, if not, you go your separate ways. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have no bad blood. You don't. It's
Mm-hmm.
hate each other afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was really even a peaceful split. You know, not it might the reunion it might be something different, but I'm just saying
it
up
was
front
Right.
right
a
now.
dumb ass splitting because a simple conversation with a neutral mediator would have made everybody see each other's side. From the
Mm-hmm.
way
Mhm.
she's coming, it's almost like she has been in relationships where she either is always in control or she's never heard. Because it was almost like a flight or fight response towards that
Mhm.
comment. And it was a very
Hmm.
harmless thing.
No, I
Right.
agree, and that
Like
gets
I
us
don't
to.
feel like
Mhm.
anything that Chris did was was wrong to a sense to where he should be held at fault for actually expressing how he would like his
Exactly.
woman to be. That's the
Yeah.
whole point. It's for him to let you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
as a woman, what he would like. That's how you see if you're compatible or not. And clearly you're not. But the fact that Jessica said that now she doesn't want to pretend anymore, that kind of caught me because I'm like, okay,
Right.
so was your connection with him genuine in the first place? Like,
Mhm.
sorry
And
guys,
that
these planes are getting
and
loud.
no, you're
Like,
good. And that.
but was
Mhm.
your connection genuine at all? Like,
At
Right. And
all.
have you been
right.
pretending this entire time?
And that gets us to the ladies' lounge. And remember how I said at the top of the show that Chris was the scapegoat for this because they had to have two choices. I'm gonna tell you why. Jessica had the right to speak on Chris, but Janelle, when the hell has your behind ever talked to Chris? And I'm
Yeah.
usually on your side, but I'm about to wail in on you mentally right damn now, right from this space right here and right now. You said, and I quote, he's not accountable. He doesn't like being called out. He's not direct. He's not consistent. First of all, if he wasn't consistent, he wouldn't still be here. That's one. Number two,
Mhm.
he has been direct in many different instances. He just hasn't been direct with you. Number three, he doesn't like being called out. He got called out for servitude by his ex and owned up to that and not accountable.
Right.
Sweetie, if we want to talk about being accountable, Chris hasn't rolled up on anybody. If we really want to talk about being accountable. Now, this is the same dude that's been on your side. Right is right and wrong is wrong. It's just like when Kiara said that Quinn dated white women and you felt offended. Guess what? Chris has the right to be offended because you threw him in the wrench because y'all had to make a damn decision.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't see the connection that her and Chris had at all. But also, then you got to think about it. Janelle and Jessica are truly friends outside of the show. They were friends before the show, during the show, and after the show. So a lot of information that she could be getting is coming from Jessica. It also could be, coming from maybe like certain things that she saw. But I don't feel like they've had a connection to where it should
She
be
should be open up
she
her
has
mouth in the
enough she
ladies'
has
lounge.
enough truly to like have an opinion on Chris like that. But again,
Exactly.
as we just seen, Sierra said that she's had 2 dates with Herbert that we didn't see. So maybe there was dates that she had with Chris that we didn't see.
Well, in the
But
words of Karen Huger from Real Housewives of Potomac, I'm only judging what you're giving me. That's it.
exactly. And from that, you are absolutely right. I've not seen a connection with Janelle and Chris at all. I've not seen one. I don't remember them actually having a date.
I don't hear them talking.
Now I understand why he's always shading her outside. Because
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it just doesn't make
Oh,
sense. Like I
yeah.
said, I feel like it's conversations that Jessica's had with Janelle about
Exactly.
how she feels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That.
because see, here's the thing, right? With this friend situation, at the end of the day, your friends give context, but a real friend will say, "I'm gonna give you this context," but in the words of Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple, a '90s Nickelodeon game show, the choices are yours and yours alone.
Hmm.
If you really just had nothing to say, "Hey, listen, I'm saying this because me and Jessica talk," I would have respected you for that.
Hey,
But for
yeah,
you
hold
to
on.
just lay him on the cross just because you
Hmm.
had to make a choice,
Didn't
really?
didn't
No.
didn't Jessica, Marie, and Janelle go on a date together to meet Marie ex? Didn't that
And
just
to
happen?
and to your point, let
And
me
y'all
take
supposed to
that.
be, and they were friends, right? They had to
Yeah.
And
be
to
friends.
that point, Q, let me take that ball and just slam dunk in this game 7 that we're in right now.
That is
Did Janelle said, and I quote, "You know what? I'm good. You got him a question." So what Janelle didn't see was that Marie took responsibility with Jessica. So if
Mhm.
a dude can take responsibility with your homegirl, why can't you just say, you know what? I don't have an opinion on Chris. And
Yeah.
my thing is this: if you're gonna talk about the bad of somebody, talk about the good of somebody too. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
I mean, if you have an opinion about all of them because I haven't seen her having a connection with Phil at all as well.
This
Like,
Exactly. Stand
comment,
10 toes down on your own opinion. Damn.
this comment is it. Because the way they are ready to go to war for this dude is like, where exactly did they see him? I
hmm
definitely thought Murray was going this episode, only for him not even be in the bottom.
in the bottom, no, no. The
So
reason why is because he got so much play. Like Maye was able to play the game how he needed to and to get those connections from the friends. See, he got the thumbs up from the friends. That's all it took for this episode. And he got that. This is a game show. This isn't them looking for love. This is a game show to see who can
Mhm.
last the
in as
longest.
Harvard,
Line.
they
Right.
are playing a game of numbers.
Yes, this is
Unfortunately
last
for
man
Harvard,
standing.
he was caught. He was caught. But this one, I really do not know what to see Murray. Like he just gives me, I've always said there's this vibe from him since the first episode. It's just like something I cannot place my hands on it. He's not trustworthy. Because immediately he made that comment last episode that, oh, I have to make sure I cover my tracks. I was like, what tracks are you covering? Leave the show, go
Mhm.
find the connection outside the show.
Sure.
hmm Yeah, it actually. I mean, there's a lot to question here, but with Marie, what is there with him? Because he's been in the bottom two, what, 2 weeks in a row, or at least
Mhm.
twice we
Mm-hmm.
know of.
Sure.
I honestly, I thought from the previous, episodes that he was close. Like he's still in the bottom. But after seeing how things played out today, no. He definitely is there for a reason. And the alliance is absolutely right because he has no substance really to him. And I
Right.
thought he
But
would have been gone after last week with Janelle and Jessica. Especially
Mhm.
with y'all being so tight and eight spoon cones. I thought that definitely would have been the no go.
Mhm.
But evidently not. But I don't honestly, I am glad Herbert left, though. I will say this.
I feel like Mario
oh,
got substance. He has substance to him. Just being in
what?
the bottom. I feel like just being in the bottom.
Solana is not saying anything.
So what?
Oh,
You want to kiss Mario
Er,
at the good.
Lord
Don't do a
Jesus.
dog like that. don't. Don't. Oh, don't do.
Go ahead, Q. What you were saying, dog. I mean, Solana is like no here, no there, no anywhere tomorrow. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Mario get a little kiss on the forehead, man. Somebody don't kiss him on the forehead.
uh,
But I mean, I feel like
no,
Mario.
Maria gets the pat on the leg like Aries did Chris when he was started crying on her couch. That's Maria gets the pat on the head. Oh, good. Thank you. That's so nice.
Mario has been consistent throughout the show, though. He's been very consistent. I remember the first time when Tamachichi got cut off the show, whatever her name was, Tequila, and he came to her aid. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's been that soft, genuine person the whole time, and I feel like that's what kind of kept him on the show. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that is true because people have said he seems like the homie vibe. And from what Sierra said, there, in the words of Optimus Prime, there is more than meets the eye, right? So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I will say this: when people love Grand Marnier more than a person named Marnier, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, snap.
Mm,
Listen, not if they love Grand Marnier more than they love Marnier. Look,
true, I
it's a
do.
problem. It's a problem.
I really do like Grandma.
Yeah. But now let's move on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I really do.
Nah,
Oh,
no,
Lord.
just give me the drink. No, give me the drink. I
Actually,
don't
this
want him. Give
comment
me the
makes
drink.
sense.
That part. That part. That
Don't
part.
do a dog like that, man. Don't do Mario like that, man.
You know what? Honestly, Q, I actually just set him up for a brand endorsement deal.
Oh,
Hashtag
really?
you're welcome.
Look at God. Look at God. What I'm trying to tell you.
If you
I
don't
agree
like
with
me,
I
You
agree with
guys are
Stacy's comment.
rude.
Stacy says I think Jessica was done with Chris after the servitude comment. I think
that's
she
a
was
good
done with that
point.
too.
That's a very good point,
She,
Stacey, because
you
she
see
did
how
take
she
that angle.
looked. The look on her face was like, huh? Oh no. She heard serve and was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah,
What
that's a
happened?
very good. That's a very observant point,
They
Stacey.
slept together.
Now let's get on to this. Let's go ahead and go with Quentin. Yes,
Jessica and Chris
yes.
slept together.
You think so?
I
I
think
mean,
so. I
listen.
think so. It
No,
they slept
no, go
together.
ahead, Q. Now, listen. I hate to be the broken record, but we all remember the hoedown. Listen. Text me when you get home. You don't think that after that hoedown that there was things being dug in the bedroom and gardens were growing after the text was sent? Okay, we can move on. We can move
Let's
on.
think about it. How in the world can y'all go that much south and east so quick? Are y'all in love at one time? After you get done doing it, now after you remember what you said, when you get done having sex, what's next?
Your eyes
You tell me
Evidently, it
how it
closed.
wasn't
is.
that good.
When you get done having sex, what's next? They were trying to find some kind of communication. After that, it just didn't land right. Because it's no way
Hmm
that you go
Mm-hmm.
from saying all of these things, Jessica go parading this man around, trying to get him to stay on the show, and after that, they go their separate ways. They don't even want to talk to each other.
hmm
They slept
It
together.
couldn't have been that
And
good.
you cannot tell me that didn't happen.
I can see your point, Q.
All right.
Oh,
If that's the case,
there it is.
then
There it is. There it is.
mm,
How how
well,
how can
Sierra
y'all?
might actually be pregnant then. We're just saying if that's the case, because honey, I feel like there was more sexual connection right there in that scene than there is with Marie or Chris. Any of them, Chris and Jessica. And if there was, like I said, it couldn't have been good. It must not have been good. She was like, nope, he don't have that. I've heard the man dingo, and he is just not dinging. So
I really feel like he cut her off more than anything, just because when you go to sit here and saying, "Oh, she's not as soft as I want," she's not this. You keep talking about that, but what
hmm
attracted to you her in the first place?
right, or what is it about the softness? Like exactly how? Explain how you want her to be soft, and maybe he has just because he has mentioned the fact that maybe softer conversation or something like that. But
He
how?
has.
Like what? You know what, Q? It could have been like there's something. Evidently, there's something that we're not seeing. Like he wants you to be a certain way because he knows or has given you the option to be a certain way, and you just haven't. I don't know. It makes sense though. Okay, it makes sense.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Reviews. I got a reference for that one. Looking good. Looking right. Is there any room for me in them jeans? Listen. Let's go on this lead date. Okay. Let's just go on this lead date.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get on to
I will
this one because,
forever
honey,
hate Quinton. I can't stand it. For what he did to my girl. It made her look dumb.
her friend made her look dumb. She made
Yeah, her
herself
friend
look
made
dumb.
her look dumber.
Her friend, I'm sorry, honey, but your friend is not your friend. That no, stop using the word friend loosely like that because that is not your
Ooh.
friend. That girl was trying to
I
get
ain't
a
your
date with
friend.
Quentin her damn self. Like she was checking off all the boxes that she liked about Quentin so that if it didn't work out
Mhm.
with you and him, she could
Exactly.
step in.
That
Exactly.
part. That part right there. Because honestly, when Lee was like, "You're not asking him any questions," I know I'm not asking him any questions. I'm like, "Listen, your name is Muffin, and I know that you own a bakery. And let me tell you something: the milk to make the muffins were in full supply. Listen, At this point, what you should have said was, so listen, Lee works out, I work out. Do you offer private sessions? And I'm available. I can put down some money right now. Wait, actually, you know what? You know what, Lee? It's been a long night. You've been with these producers. I'm going to be your friend and help you release your emotions with this show. Quinton, let's go, you and me, release together through the power of working out. You can bench press me, and you can press into me. Okay? How about we do that?
We sit on the back in that date for Quinton, for her to have that access to the conversation that she had, the stuff she said to Quinton. You know what I'm saying? And I think Lisa's okay with it, you know?
Martha was trying to get broke down and turned into cornbread, okay? She was trying to get stuck. That girl was trying to turn into something else. And did y'all see how I'm sorry, I have to keep rolling the windows down because it gets hot. Y'all know California, Lord, they be trying to do y'all
You're
here.
good.
But y'all seen how when Quentin was getting up to leave, how Lee's
Let me hug
friend
him first.
basically pushed her out the way, threw her out the way and said, let me hug him first.
Yep.
Excuse me? No, I'm sorry. We're not friends. We're not. No. Say what it is, because tell me about your friend stories. Y'all have none? Okay, so let me go ahead and drop it down and tell y'all what happened. Y'all had a whole face together. Y'all was out clubbing, and sometimes y'all would meet up with people. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all both cute, honey. Get in where you fit and do what you do. Listen, I understand. And it's been that she's seen some of the guys that you have brought around because maybe y'all might have been together. Possibly. Because I don't see what kind of friend is this?
Well, I mean,
let my so-called friend do that to somebody that I'm letting you know that I like them. Before you even met them, you let me know, oh, I could tell that you really like them. I could tell. And then when they get there, you drooling all over them like they a turkey leg?
Well, I mean, listen, it looks like Little Red Riding Hood wanted to go ride on his hood or be eaten by the werewolf. Because the red hair was redding, okay? Okay.
Oh, what big eyes you have.
But one thing I do like about Lee is
I got her.
One thing I do
go ahead, Q.
I said one thing I do like about Lee is Lee has a lot of self-respect for herself.
That is true.
And it's been very consistent, you know what I'm saying, throughout the whole process. She really respects herself. And I feel like even though her friend was doing the most, she didn't take that time on the show to correct her friend. She said, okay, I'm going to let this friend happen and we'll figure this out afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff, the only thing this stuff is doing is feeding into Quinton ego. Quinton ego so doggone big, dog. Quinton head is through the roof right now.
Quentin feeling like that man, okay? He is feeling like the one.
Like
because one, hold on. Even if you look at Janelle's friend, how Janelle's friend was looking at him. Yeah. Like, ooh, you nice. And then when Herbert came in, she looked at Quentin like, well, no, Quentin, you got it, baby. No, you good.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Bigger than that, and I'm about to agree with you. And he, like I said, it's the part that is said out loud, but that's not really heard. Do y'all remember when I told y'all about the qualities and stuff of Herbert and Quinn, and how she, like, I like how you see her. Even now, I'm not saying you don't.
I like how you. That's nice. Oh, Quentin, tell me more. You so nice.
I don't know what people see in Quinton. I feel like it's hugging. I'm sorry.
Your muscles, Quentin. Oh my God, your muscles.
I mean, if you go to the gym, you can see a million.
He got a big forehead. I'm sorry. He's just not my type. I don't know. Okay, Quentin.
Quinton was looking for the tiniest thing to devalue Lee. Because how is her being a party animal a problem? Even when the friend corrected his like thinking, he was still like, "Oh, that's something I'll have to be bothered about." Dude, you're always being
Like
bothered
just
about
because
Brandon,
she
about
doesn't
Lee.
go out, like you don't have to go out and party all the time and be out in the club scene. But that doesn't mean that you can't be wet and wild for your man. Like just
Thank
because she
you. Like
doesn't want
he's
to
not
be,
that
out
fine.
here being a hot hoochie doesn't mean that she can't be, you know what I'm saying?
No,
She
absolutely. No,
can't show you what she's working with behind the doors.
no, absolutely.
So
By the way, we are here for Super Soaker 5000s, the old school ones, not these little baby toys.
right.
By the way, stay tuned reviews. That would be a mighty Subway foot long because both of them got cake, and that's a lot of meat if they were to do a threesome. So that would be a Subway foot long
See, that's the blow.
sub.
The
Just
blow part about that is if Quentin and Lee get together, she gonna have to watch her friend. And the thing about it is
Oh, absolutely.
Quentin gonna entertain her friend. So no matter what, it's gonna lose situation for Lee. Cause Quentin, like the other girl said, in his past, he's not trying to settle down with nobody. You know what I'm saying?
and you
And
Right.
and
and, and Lee
hmm
and Lee's built and Janelle's built are two different bodies. You know what I'm saying? I
that
feel like
part.
it's a little more difficult to get to Lee versus to get to Janelle. And Quentin
Yes,
knows that.
Mhm.
because that thigh game was thigh gaming in that chair, which really should have been me as the chair. But we won't talk about that. We'll just move the hell on. The point is
Tommy said he
what.
seen that leg. Tommy said that leg out, ain't it?
Yeah,
Tommy,
exactly. He said that about Lee.
Tommy
Your
said
leg is out. That was the first time he
Your
said.
leg
But
is
soon,
out, honey.
but soon as she went out again, hey, your leg is out. You know what probably happened, nephew? So you like legs, huh? I just I mean I can't help that I can see I can't help that I can have eyes I can see and glasses that magnify the blessings in front of me. I am the host, sweet. I gotta point out these things.
Tommy know his wife ain't going nowhere. Boy, Tommy know
No,
his wife ain't going
no.
nowhere.
Tommy wife ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going, and he ain't
Not
going,
at all.
and he ain't going.
No. Right.
He seen
Listen,
that
they
leg though.
solid.
He
They're
seen that leg.
solid. But when it
That leg
comes to
was right.
and you gotta think like that's what they should be looking forward to. Like Tommy, come on now, I'm gonna need you to throw. I mean, you trying to throw curveballs and help them out, but honey, you kind of doing a disservice to them, honey, because these people are. What the hell is going on? Because you are absolutely right. If Quinn was to get with Lee, she would definitely have to watch out for her friend. And honestly, I feel like she would have to watch out with any man she gets because that
Hmm
girl's a hoe. Listen here, little red. I know who you are. I mean, you could listen. I'm not
Review
trying to call nobody no hoe, but I'm just saying she might have hoe tendencies.
or in the
So,
words of Ty Chrisley, I'm not saying you a hoe. I'm just saying you exhibiting hoe behavior.
oh, right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And Quinn would entertain that.
Oh, he would.
Just like
Oh,
as y'all
absolutely.
seen on the preview for next episode when Katarina and Janelle kind of like had a little tiff involving him. The look on his face is just like he invites it. He wants women to fight over him. He wants somebody to be able to stroke his ego, make him
Hmm
feel like he is the man.
Cause
And like,
he told
But and that's very true. And recaps and reviews, I agree. Tommy was having a whole moment. But then again, I would have been having and honestly, what nephew Tommy did was a saint compared to me. Because I'm single. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the host, let me tell you something. All y'all, okay, will be getting compliments from me. Okay? Listen.
stay
y'all
tuned.
gotta,
Listen, you know what?
this
The
man,
corner.
Because then
No, stay tuned.
she
Go to the
wants to
corner.
join every time.
this man.
And that's probably what it's been. That's probably what it has been. There's been where they've
So
joined in. They've had those joint ventures,
That
and
was
the
good.
friend
Stay
was
tuned
looking like,
reviews.
"Oh,
That
is
was
this gonna be
good.
one?"
But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all how this is gonna happen, right? So let's just say that Lee and Quinn are married and stuff, and they go a rough patch. You know, hey Muffin, are you busy? No, I'm not busy. Hey, you want to go out to Dave and Buster's? Yeah, sure. So what's going on? Well, Lee isn't really that active. She really home by. Yeah, well, I told you that she was a grandma, but I'm a whole thick auntie out here. You understand? Auntie likes to get down, get around, and fly through the sky, if you know what I mean. So are you saying that you've been having the energy the whole time and you were just telling me she had low energy? Well, I mean, I was trying to tell you, but you didn't want to fly through me, so I had to fly through you mentally and let you know what was up. So what you want to do about it?
The crazy thing about it is, for Quentin to go on live TV and said, "Yes, we're going to have sex," and the girl Janelle was sitting here like, "Okay." Only thing I heard in my ear, this is what I heard you. This is what I heard. I'm gonna f you, and she was like, "Cool, that's gonna happen." You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, for him to sit there and say that, his intentions are trying to find somebody. That's not gonna happen on this show.
Mm.
Quentin.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know how real that made up situation was. The fact that Solana and Gigi did not say no to it, that should tell you how real that situation is. That
Yeah.
should tell you how real that situation is. Because if it wasn't real, it'd be like, Braylon, you dramatizing a little too much. You gifted at being an oral communicator, but you dramatizing a little too much. The fact that they said no, that's exactly what Muffin's going to do. It happens every time.
It
It
does. Yeah.
does.
You
Somebody is
know what?
always a friend to
You know
listen to
what?
everything.
I have something to say about Quentin. So, looking at Quentin and the way he acts, he gives me the vibes of when he was younger, he was ugly, he was not popular. So
Mm-hmm.
he grew up and was like, oh, I'm going to hit the gym. If
Yes.
I'm not fine facially, I'm going to be fine on my body. Girls like
Mm-hmm.
muscles. They're like, wow, this is so pretty. He would probably be good in bed. So, because I don't see what they see on his face, because he's not pleasing to look at, but his body is fine. I have to give him kudos
Yes.
for that.
And I was
So,
thinking exactly
he's
that.
someone who is very insecure. That's why he's acting childish. Because if I was secure in myself, or if I was man enough, like if I was Quintin, I should be man enough to tell Lee, girl, I'm not feeling you. Because he's wasting her time. For
Right.
you to the same thing the same Chris did with Jessica is
Mhm.
what he's doing with Lee, and plus more. Because at least Chris is telling Jessica his issues. He is internalizing it and judging her, and then basing that to take steps backwards from her. I hate that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
That's the behavior of what's that word? Coward.
Well,
Definitely could see coward like behavior coming from Quentin, but I also see that he's not ready to commit. This is why are y'all coming on these shows knowing that you are not in the position to commit or be in like what if you just want to get your face up there, you're just kind of trying to like throw some stuff together because you just
mhm,
want to be popular for that moment. Cool. But don't like go there's other shows for that. Like there really are.
mhm. Yeah.
Because at this point, you are all looking like you are just coasting. It looks like every last person on here is coasting. There's really no connections. Who on here is really looking and ready for love? Y'all might be ready for love, but I don't think you're really ready to make those connections to find the love that that you need. And Quentin definitely, like Ucha, I swear I was thinking that same thing. He had a complex where he was not cute as a child and growing up. He didn't get the attention that he craved. So right now he's older. He just went to the gym. He's got his body right.
Mhm.
Women are going for that. So now that's what he is really focusing on. And that's what his push is his physique. All of them seem superficial and just they're all looking at appearance. What else is there underneath you guys? Nothing.
Right.
I
Nothing.
don't feel like any of them have really any substance to them right now.
Yeah. And then that gets us into the preview. Of course, we've hinted at Kat and Janelle fine about Quinn. Phil and Aries are connecting in bed. Phil rubbing Aries' feet, and then Sierra asking Marie to sit next to her, and Jessica and Sierra seem to have a tiff. Maybe not. I don't know, but I say that because then Sierra's like,
Imagine.
well, exactly that. If you don't want this, then I'll
Imagine
just go
going
home.
from being top three from a fine dude who is financially stable to being a second option to a fat dude that is not even giving you the time of the day. It's
Hmm.
such a
Mhm.
downgrade. I'm not fat, but I'm just like it's in that.
Yeah, I just feel like right now he's welcoming the feeling of being wanted. He's not
Hmm.
really wanting anybody or trying to want the connection, but he's going through the motions of feeling wanted, being wanted by someone, and
Hmm.
having women who actually find him attractive. This might be something new to him, so now he's just like, you know, he's trying to take it. Beautiful women actually are looking at him in that kind of way.
Hmm. I will say this though about Sierra and Jessica, because this week the ladies had control of the men, right? The men have
Hmm.
control this week, right? With the overnight getaway.
Yeah.
I think now this was like the bottom two. I think the bottom two for next week is going to be Jessica and Sierra. I really do believe that, and
Mhm.
I will tell you why. Because for one, now this is just a prediction, y'all, okay? But to me, because Herbert is now gone, right? So Sierra doesn't have that anymore. So her only connection is Maria, just from what we're seeing. And the worst Karen Huger, I'm only judging what you give me. So because Sierra only has Maria, she has to dig into Maria more. And because Jessica has cut off Chris, and because Jessica is not connected to anybody else, that's her only option. It's going to be a fight between those two that the men are going to see, that the men is going to say Jessica and Sierra are in the bottom two because they're both are hounding Marie because they're not stable. Now, I could be completely wrong on my prediction, but I think that's going to be the bottom two.
That's a good prediction. Like I could see Jessica possibly going down.
I think
But I think
Katarina and
I was gonna
Sierra.
say Lee and Katarina. I feel like are kind of like down at the bottom.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Katarina and Sierra. Yeah.
Katarina, Sierra. Okay. What's your prediction, Q? Like, who do you see?
Q, you there, brother?
I think he's muted.
Is muted.
But Sierra, it's a vote. It looks like a couple of people in the chat actually feel like Sierra's gone next week too. So,
She needed to have been gone 2 weeks ago. Trust me.
mm, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with that. Sierra and Katarina, or Sierra and Jessica. Sierra for sure. I feel like she's down there. I'm sorry, love. You're beautiful and all, but you like the substance of love and all that. I really don't feel like it's there. So,
And by the way, like Sierra's friends, I'm just going to say this now. I don't know if they're married or not, but they seem to have a really good tie to each other because they were both giving questions like they really know her.
They're
So
very
I don't know if
smart.
they're married or not, but they look like a beautiful couple to me. So,
Mm.
yeah,
Actually, I didn't even think about that.
I
They do
wonder
look fine though.
what was his name, Delton.
That
Yeah, but
Dalton.
they definitely. I feel like it was great that Herbert left, though. So, are
yeah,
we all in
I
agreement
do
Dalton
that
agree.
needed to
Herbert
have
should have left?
left. like 5 episodes ago.
And review and recaps. I agree with you. Lee is a beautiful woman. I think her and Aries are diamonds in the rough. I really, really do.
Mhm.
My top
Yeah.
three are Lee, Katarina, Aries. Janelle is my top four. Pretty much.
Mm.
Even
See,
Kira too.
mine is,
Kira is actually really gorgeous.
yeah, she's gorgeous. It's just her attitude and her. Mm, it's just some other things that kind of like takes away some from her. But Kiara's definitely beautiful. I honestly, I think that they for the most part they pretty much all was.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, if Ready to Love was like 3 months, I think they'll be able to regulate themselves out. But because it was just about a month, this is what we got. But I would have to say from the women's side, I would have to say Lee, Aries, and Janelle. I think are my solid picks. But out of all of them, though, I would say Aries.
Lee. Nah, I'll say Lee. She's so gorgeous. Her body,
Absolutely,
fashion,
she is.
And can't
beauty.
forget about
Yeah,
Sierra up there too.
yeah, Sierra's definitely gorgeous. She definitely is. But it's like I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Aries might be my top.
I feel like Aries.
Aries and
By the way,
like I
Q.
don't,
By the way, Q. We all gave our predictions of who's going to be the bomb two. Who do you think will be the bomb two next week?
think you muted yourself again. He's
My
muted.
bottom
Okay, there you go.
my bottom two next week. Of course it's gonna be Cat. Um Sad to say Sierra. It's gonna be Cat and Sierra in the bottom two next week.
See, it's so obvious.
hmm Unless
So
hold up.
Cat is
Here's
okay.
my wild card. Here's my wild card. My wild card is Lee.
See,
Nah.
Lee.
I don't know that
The, the only
for
reason
some
why
reason I'm feeling like Lee is like I don't know for some reason I just feel like she's going to go home soon
yes,
because
Lee about to
I
go
don't
home.
see her
In the
connections.
next 3 episodes, Lee's going home.
Yeah, Lee going home. Sad to say.
Yeah,
Our
Yeah.
reviews. Sierra said she wanted to self-eliminate and they told her to stay. From her, she was in the comments earlier.
yeah. Well, hold on, but she did say that they was begging her to stay. So
Yeah, I was like, so wait a minute. You mean one of the guys was asking you to, or production was asking you to?
right.
I
So
think it's production.
Y'all remember
Okay.
at the end of the show and they showed the preview for next week, and she was sitting down talking to Marielle.
Yes.
And she said to Marielle, like, it's up to you. If you want me to stay, I'll stay. So Sierra going next week.
right, but if not, I'm going home or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was because he has a connection with Jessica, and she's feeling like at this point it's like either you gonna choose me or her because she was also in her feelings about him even sitting giving a gift to Jessica on their date, and the attention that he was giving to Jessica he didn't give
That's
her, and she made the
true.
comment about that. So I
That's
feel like
true.
she was sitting down talking to him about like, hey, if you're really feeling her, then I'm just gonna go ahead and back off and go home because I don't feel like he has any other connections. Herbert's gone.
Right.
Marier is really having he has a connection not only just with you but with Jessica as well. So if he has not doesn't have that connection with you, who do you have? You're
But
gone.
also too, Sierra doesn't understand why the gift was even given for that X date. She doesn't really know that. But I will say, I think the most funniest moment from this episode was when Sierra said that Herbert has freaknik energy and was doing this in the ladies' lounge. Like, oh my Lord Jesus! And she was, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, y'all, for my phone drop, but she was She was hitting her strokes pretty, on point.
Yeah.
Just
But
it's
she
the
did
small
her, she did
details,
pack
ladies
her
and
whole
gentlemen.
bag, okay? So listen, she's ready. She is ready. She's packing her whole bag and she's getting ready to do what she does.
Hmm. Yep, I agree. She has been given the humor for the show review and recaps for sure. I totally agree. And like I said, stay tuned reviews. I agree with you. Aries is a diamond in the rough, and let me tell you, that thickness is not cold, Rotel Dip. That is hot. Do you hear me? That is hot. Okay.
That's consistent rotel dip right there.
Hello.
That's very much so consistent.
So I guess we've covered everything. So let's round up. Any last words?
Yeah, no, honestly, first of all, another great. This was a fire panel today. Let me tell you
Great.
something, man. This was good. This was so good. Honestly, to tell you the truth, absolutely review and recaps. Absolutely, I think that you know sometimes when we watch reality TV, I think we put too much pressure on the show that we're trying to date. Follow me now. The show is called Ready to Love. Emphasis on the word ready. So, when you watch like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Survivor, you're getting to this relationship of like, oh my God, this is going to be about surviving. No, the relationship is about how to survive. So with Ready to Love, I think the reason why some people are frustrated with the show is because they're thinking that, oh my God, this show should be about relationships. That was your expectation of that relationship with the show that you're watching. But the show is really about the exploration of how you can be ready for love. So I think if you take the expectations off of what you think the show should be for you watching it, you're able to watch it more. So, but I enjoy the show.
Yeah. The
Any
show
other
is definitely
things?
enjoyable. It's definitely enjoyable, and this episode definitely was one of the better ones. It seems like it's definitely getting a lot better as time goes on. I am ready to go ahead and get rid of all the dead weight. It's time to go ahead and actually let's get rid of who's only here to play this game and who's really here. We got to go down to the last four and drop everybody else. And let's go ahead and do that. Try to make those connections. See if we can at least get try to see how many sentences you can actually see instead of trying to see how many you can break up or break apart or eliminate. Make that be the show. If you're ready to love, okay, let's just stick to ready to love, and if you guys can actually maintain a relationship, maintain being, on a floor, maintain what it takes to love or in love or whatever the case is, instead of it being a game of last man standing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just where it's an elimination game. It's just who can be
Yep,
there last.
I agree.
Well, another great panel.
So,
Another great
Yep.
panel. I really enjoyed this episode. Let's get into the nitty gritty, and I can't wait to next week. This week right here came with so many. Can't wait for next week. Another great panel. I really appreciate and I really enjoy being on the panel as well.
Yeah. No,
Definitely
for
enjoy
sure. And by the way, see,
it.
say that again. Say that again, Gigi.
I was just saying that I love, the panels that we do. I love, being on here with you guys. I love actually the conversations that we can have even outside of here being, content creators. We're not so encapsulated in our own self that we lose our authenticity to where we
Absolutely.
can't give it. And that is one thing that I do love about our panels that we actually are, the way that you see us here, we're like this outside of here as well. So it's always great to be on a panel with like-minded people who have great opinions, and we can all actually agree to disagree. You know, I feel like there's a lot of respect from everyone on this panel, and I appreciate it. And I
Absolutely.
accept it. You guys are really great.
Absolutely. By the way, Sierra, since you were on the show, can you send this to Will Packer and on? Can like seriously, you came through here. Like I'm just saying. Like, can you send it to some castmates, like to let them know, like what y'all are doing actually matters. I'm just saying. You know, just
So I guess that's all for today.
I mean, the cast does
Thank you
watch our
guys.
review show. Might as well.
They do. So
We
yeah,
actually
that's
spent
it.
like 2 hours today.
It was worth it though. This
So
was good. This was a good one
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So thank you,
So
the viewers, the commenters, the panelists, Braylon Lee, Gigi Nan, Q. We'll see you guys same time, 3 p.m. EST next week.
Absolutely.
see
Much
you
love,
guys.
everybody. Send it back to all of you. See you
Bye.
guys.